And so this video is not about you. And so you're gonna have to go away. Go, go, go. Welcome back, YouTube. It's me, Miranda. I have Ozzy here in my lap today because I said I wanted to do a special video all about him. So today is gonna be that video. Basically, I'm just gonna tell his story and our journey so far with Ozzy. We've had Ozzy for a month and a half now about, and he's come a long way. Ozzy's a rescue. I found him on Craigslist. This video is also going to kind of highlight why you should consider rescuing ferrets and checking places like Craigslist for them, because there are a lot of ferrets in desperate need on there, and if you can afford to rescue and take on a ferret that needs help, then that's just even more rewarding in my opinion. But that's how we've got little Ozzy here. There wasn't a lot in the description. It said that their kid didn't have time for him anymore and lost interest basically, and they felt that he wasn't getting what he deserved. That's what the ads said. They were definitely right, and I'm glad that they chose to rehome him. But yeah, I responded basically. I said, is Ozzy still looking for a home? You know, I have 8 ferrets currently. Here's a picture of their cage. This is how I feed them. I mentioned that I feed them raw and all that. I know a lot about ferrets basically. And then she got back to me with some weird and concerning information saying that he's not neutered and has allergies, she thinks. You could just tell that they didn't know what they were doing. They didn't really know anything about ferrets, like, at all. So I told her I will come after work that day and come pick him up, and I did. I raced over as soon as I got out of work, and she did send me 2 pictures. I'll try to include them in this video if I still have them on my phone. The pictures gave me kind of a bad feeling, and then when I got there and saw him in person, my heart dropped. I made it out the door into my car down the street before I started crying over him, but I wanted to cry like the second I saw him because he was so skinny. I picked him up and there was just nothing to him. There was no weight whatsoever. He's still really underweight, but he actually has like mass to him now. Like, you could tell, like, he just wasn't eating. He's very, very sick. His ears, his poor little ears were huge. They were like Mickey Mouse ears, blown up. There were like cats running around, dogs in crates, which I have nothing against crates, but there were dogs screaming in the crates, like this husky thing. The whole time I was there talking to him, he was shaking. He was like absolutely petrified. I picked him up and I just held him to my chest, and I think he knew at that moment he was safe because he fell asleep in my arms while I was holding him and talking to his previous owners, and they were nice people, but they just had no clue what was going on. His tail is missing a lot of hair. It's starting to grow back. They thought that was normal. They thought that his weight was okay. Like, did they not think something was wrong? Like, his hips, you could see his hip bones. He's so skinny. He's put on weight now. We're working on it, but he was just so sad, and his cage was like broken, and you could tell he never got out of it. He never like ran around and played. He's by himself, obviously. Just a really bad, neglectful situation. He had fleas. He had fleeter on him. I'm pretty sure they gave him a bath and cut his nails before I picked him up, because they were actually short and freshly trimmed, and he didn't have any live fleas on him, any adult fleas. I was looking for them. I couldn't find any when I brought him home, but he had flea dirt, he had bites all over him, and his ears were so swollen. I have a video clip actually of him running around in my bathroom. Well, not really running around, just sniffing around. And you can see he's super skinny, and you can kind of see his ears, just not that well. Ozzy. How you doing, sweet boy? Ozzy lives in my office. He has a little cage, a little, like, it is a kitty cage, but he's hardly in it except for when we're sleeping or not home. The rest of the time he runs around the whole house. My other ferrets have their own room, but he's not really super fond of the other ferrets, and one of them, unfortunately, who shall remain nameless, Chanel, actually, she attacks him. Yeah. He likes Baby and Sassy, the girls, and he likes the babies, Cosmo and Luna. He doesn't really care for the other adult ferrets all that much. He's on and off with Richie. Sometimes he likes to play with Richie, and then sometimes he just wants to be left alone. But yeah, Ozzy's more like a cat. He's the cat rat. He doesn't identify as a ferret. Ozzy does need to go back to the vet because he's still having some kind of little reaction where his ear gets a little bit puffy, and I have to give him some Benadryl. It's not every single day. I'm pretty sure I have it ruled out as any kind of food allergy. I ruled it out as like a food allergy because he's eating the same thing, only one thing right now, and he's not reacting every day. It's only some days, so he's either getting into something around the house that's making him react, or he has something still going on. You wouldn't be able to tell that he doesn't feel good, that there's something wrong with him, because he still jumps around and plays and acts like a normal ferret. And I just don't get it, because he has such a little personality to him. People really suck, man. Like, I don't understand how you could ignore and neglect such a happy little ferret. He went from being so sad and so lonely to just being happy and loved. And Ozzy actually, the first few nights after coming home, he cried, I believe out of happiness, a few times when we were holding him and snuggling him, and I was hand feeding him. And you can just tell he was never loved so much before. He's just so happy now. Plays in the shower too, which is the funniest thing. If you leave the shower on and the door open, he'll get in there and jump around in the water and just be a crazy little ferret. I honestly wish they were harder to get so that people couldn't just impulse buy them and then end up forgetting about them. Ozzy is switched onto a raw diet now. He's eating primal. I give them rabbit and the beef and salmon, and then pretty soon I'm gonna get a new batch, or a new order I should say, of some grinds and start introducing that a little bit. He's, I want to make sure he gets up to a healthy weight. I don't want to play too much with the food. I want to make sure he's still eating, so I'm switching him slowly. He's on the primal though, the frozen raw, which is better than he was at before. Honestly, I think he didn't even like the Marshall garbage they were feeding him, because I offered it to him here when he came home because he was familiar with it, and he didn't touch it. And then I offered him raw, and he gobbled that up. How could you ignore that little face? He's so sleepy. Oh, look at his little toes. He's so happy.
you doing? It's not a lobster.
Get him, Ozzy. Get him.
So I'm sitting down to now edit my video and realized I never did any kind of an outro. So I'm learning this whole YouTube thing. I will gradually get less awkward, or not. I might just get more awkward or better at being awkward. But anyways, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.